My project is about how to tea dye. How many of you have heard about the process of dyeing with tea? Yes, tea. And yes, it is the same tea that some of you drink every day. Tea dyeing is a good way to give fabrics an older, antique, or even vintage look sometimes. Tea stains the fibers and gives it a dull, brown, almost dingy looking tone. The tea dye process works best with fibers that are made from natural fibers like cotton, silk, linen, or even wool. Because this process uses tea, it is considered semi-permanent. It would probably be best to use small items in the beginning until you really get to know how your fiber is going to react to the tea solution. A commercial dye should be used for any fabric or any the larger items that you want to have a permanent color to it. The items you will need for this process are the fabric or garment, preferably cotton, tea bags. You can use either generic or name brand, the choice is yours, hot water, and the container that you want to use to hold the tea bath in. Next, you will need to bring the water to a boil, add the tea bags, which are the amount of tea bags that you add are dependent upon the amount of water that you use. So for each 8 ounce of water that you use, you would need to use 2 tea bags. Let the tea solution steep for at least 5 minutes or longer, depending on how dark you want the solution to be. Let it cool, and then you can add your fabric or your garment to it. The length of time that you should use to leave your item in there is dependent upon how dark you want that fabric to come out. If you want a smooth texture finish, you should swish the item around in your container with a wooden spoon periodically throughout the length of time that you leave it in there. If you just wanted to have a matte finish, then you can just not move it as often. The items that I used were 3 white cotton t-shirts. The first one was left in for about 5 minutes. The second one I left in for 15 minutes. And the third one I left in for about 35 minutes. As you can see, the colors are darker depending upon how long you leave it in. So if you really wanted to have a dark look to it, then you could possibly leave it in for an hour, or if you want it even browner, you would leave it in overnight. Once you have gotten the desired color that you want, you should remove it from the tea solution and then run it gently under cool water so that it can set the color in the fabric. Some of the coloring will run off during this step, but not a lot, so that you wouldn't see the color that you wanted. If you do not like the results that you got with that first step, then you can wash it out with bleach. After each wash, you will lose color in the fabric.